All right, I've already shown my bias for aquariums. Love them. So let me tell you my other things. Recycling and composting. All the things, okay? My family does it all. We drive the Prius. We have, like, literally all of us drive a hybrid car. We have solar panels on our house. We compost, we recycle, like, we do all the things. I don't even use paper towels anymore. I bought reusable fabric napkins that are awesome. I'll share a link on the website. All right, so this goes with composting. So I'm going to kind of talk for just a second about composting, and then we're going to talk next about worms. Exciting stuff. So this is a compost container. I actually received this from our science lab teacher really long time ago. Okay, the same container has been in my home for probably 15 to 16 years, and unfortunately now the handle has finally broken, and my son, who is responsible for taking compost to the bin, has requested that I finally buy a new Sterilite container. But that's all it is. It is a simple Sterilite container. I put it underneath my sink. If you look inside of it right now, it's utterly disgusting. It is like making its own juices, and sometimes it kind of makes some pops and sizzles, and you kind of like, ooh. But believe it or not, even in the Sterilite container that is not perfectly like airtight, I do not smell it in my kitchen. Keep it underneath my sink. Everything goes in there, from coffee grounds, tea bags, banana peels, eggshells, apple cores, apples we don't eat because they go bad first, potatoes. I've actually have some potatoes in my garden that I'm growing that sprouted in my compost bin, so that's kind of a fun fact. But inside of here, I just drop everything in. Doesn't that look delicious? Actually, it doesn't smell that bad. Strawberries are disgusting, just so you know. When you put strawberries in there, they grow mold like in seconds, it seems like, and they stink. Don't even get me started with onions. I hate them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the reason I'm showing you the compost is because that goes into our next activity. So our next activity is one that is a gift that keeps on giving. All right. So I had this lesson so long ago that some of you that are watching this video were not even born yet. Not making that up. I actually made my first worm habitat 1995, 96. Yeah, some of y'all are like, oh my gosh, she's right, that lady is old. I wear it well. All right, so you're going to be getting this container here. You're also going to be getting a great book. It is called Wiggly Worms at Work. Got a little alliteration in there to bring in our ELA. So with this, it is a very simple setup. All right, in this container, yes, we want you to grow worms. Did I say that correctly? Yes, we want you to grow worms. You will love it, I promise. You need a clear container because you really want the kids to see what's happening inside of here. All right, all of this is linked on our website. It is so simple that you're going to wonder why you've never grown worms before. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take newspaper. You really want to keep the newspaper that is the black and white, going to get on your fingers kind of newspaper, and you're going to just put a big pile of it in the floor and let the kids tear it up. They will have a ball. I, as an OCD person, have a mild heart attack, but I recover from it quickly. I let them rip it and tear it and do all that kind of stuff. Kids will get in the little bitty, teeny tiny bits. It doesn't matter. They'll do strips. They'll wad it. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay? So you're going to tear up your newspaper, and then you're going to place it in the bottom of your container. All right? So do all your little newspaper tearing. Let the kids do it. It's so much more fun than watching somebody on a video do it. Once you have torn up the newspaper, you're going to layer it at the bottom, and then you're going to layer on top of that soil, some dirt. So this also goes into our other lessons that we've had. I would do smaller pieces in this. Your third graders are going to do smaller pieces in this. You want to have at least 3 to 4 times more newspaper than this, kind of pack it down in there, and then you're going to put your dirt in on top of a nice solid layer. You want authentic dirt. Like, take your garden trowel that we used earlier in the One Small Square, and you want to actually go and dig up some dirt. All right, if you don't have a place at school that you can dig dirt, I bet you do, but if you don't, you can actually encourage the students to bring in a Ziploc bag of dirt from home so that we're all in together on the project. Dump the dirt inside there. It's important that you don't use a bag of potting soil because there's chemicals and fertilizers and things like that. You don't want to like have your worms get in that environment. We don't want to have any mutated worms in our classroom. That might be bad. So put your dirt in, have a nice solid layer of it. The directions tell you it's kind of like a third, a third, a third. Once you're done with your dirt, then you're going to place more newspaper on top of that. All right, so you're going to have all this in. Now comes the fun part. The reason I mentioned compost. Okay, you can actually put in composting materials inside here for the worms to eat. Sounds gross, I know, but it's not, all right? It will not smell up your classroom. And some people will argue with me and they're going to say it attracts bugs and all that kind of stuff. It really doesn't, all right? And you can kind of limit what you put in. So don't let every single child in your classroom say, we're going to compost, guys, bring back all of your banana peels from lunch today or all of your apple cores. Like you only want a couple of things a day because this isn't a huge composting bin in your backyard. This is a little worm habitat inside your classroom. But they can put in anything like that. You can add in, if you your office does coffee and you want to put in some coffee grounds so that the kids see it, you can put in some torn paper in the classroom. The least processed paper, the better. Like you don't want to use your white ruled notebook paper because it does have chemicals in it. A little bit wouldn't hurt, but you wouldn't want to do that a ton. The brown paper towels definitely can go in there sometimes. Even those little nasty tissues can go in there sometimes. I don't really do those, just seems kind of gross. But paper towels are good once they've washed their hands. And once you get everything in, you have a squirt bottle that we've included. You want to keep this full of water. And I have a daily squirter. Doesn't that sound like a great class job? You're the daily squirter today. And they just go and keep everything nice and moist inside the container. We have ordered for you from Carolina Biological a set of worms that will come to you, and you will actually put the worms into the environment. And the kids, through the clear container, will be able to watch all of the tunnels and the things, and they will see that there are a few worms that they bought will turn into many, many, many more worms. You have tweezers for your squeamish children who don't like to touch worms, or squeamish teachers who don't want to touch worms either. Then you can pull them out, you can investigate them. Once this, everything kind of molds together, it's kind of hard to explain it. You kind of have to see it. There are lots of videos out there to kind of see the process. But all the paper and the dirt and the composting will turn into super, super, super dark, black, rich soil. It's wonderful. So you can actually, it will grow and fill your container up, and you remove part of it. You can take it outside. You can take it home with you and put it in your garden or in your plants, and you're going, wow, this is the best dirt I've ever had to plant anything in. It's wonderful. But this is a great habitat. It is a great learning environment for your students. I hope you love it as much as I do. I know your kids are going to love it. They will enjoy it so much. And I do have to tell a story. Way back in 1995-96, when I did this in a science class that I was taking, one of the teachers who was with me lived on a place that was a very large area, and she decided to grow worms, believe it or not. And that became her side job. And she actually grows worms and sells them. Now she's over in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and she actually will sell like fishing worms and different types of worms for different activities, all because of that class that we did a long time ago. And her worm device has definitely gone far beyond this. She has like the big, tall, like worm I don't know, habitats that you can purchase and buy. Her husband actually builds them. But just kind of a little tidbit. So this might turn into a money-making opportunity, all because you participated in Science Plus. Very cool.